Now, fundamentally, there are many flaws within the COE system. It is a very crude policy because the COE system controls the car population rather than controlling the car usage. The root problem of congestion is usage, driving it on those roads. But COE is a measure that controls car population. So today we have a very obviously good alternative, which is your electronic road pricing. And the technology, the system, and so on has been super upgraded. So we have ERP 2.0. It may come a point in time that we relax on COE, we relax on this quota policy, we increase the number of new cars that can be purchased while significantly increasing the ERP. Then that could make the whole regulation of congestion in Singapore a lot more sound. And because fundamentally the COE, as I said, is a very crude, a very blunt instrument. But having said that, transition is never easy. Imagine if you were to increase the supply of COE, all of a sudden you've got tons of cars on the road. All of a sudden you have heavily filled car parks, nowhere to park, illegal parking everywhere. It will be a nightmare. And essentially the system is not very catered for the 50% increase in the car population. So the transition to a more efficient equilibrium is going to take a long time, and it is going to be very messy. For one, we will have to rethink car parking, whether there has to be a lot more car parks in Singapore, and whether car park charges have to be radically increased. So the point is that although we can criticize the COE system and we can see that ERP is a theoretically more correct policy to implement, but the transition is a very, very difficult affair. Now, for all economic students, we should also apply behavioral economics, the concept of cognitive bias. And one of them that is highly relevant here is known as the sunk cost fallacy. Although cars are very expensive in Singapore because of the COE policy, and that supposedly helps to reduce congestion in Singapore, but once people have paid tons of money, 200k, 180k for a car in Singapore, sunk cost fallacy tells you that they may actually tend to drive a lot more. Otherwise, they feel guilty, wow, pay so much, then the car become a white elephant, wow, go Sheng Siong must drive, take MRT must drive to the car park near the MRT. So inadvertently, an unintended consequence is to actually end up increasing the congestion instead of reducing the congestion. By right, COE price of car, this is considered a sunk cost, is irrecoverable, and therefore you should not care about it. Look ahead and weigh your marginal costs and marginal benefits in deciding on whether to drive or whether to take the public transport, etc. But unfortunately, we are not fully rational, and the end result is the policy ends up increasing congestion. So that's also another point of complication.